Hello, good evening, and welcome to another Gooner Gathering. It's the calm after the storm of last weekend. I am Gooner Lee Meads, and I'm joined by the poshest man in sports entertainment, Posh Bertie. Sir, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm okay. Because we're not playing today. That's why. No. Why we're not
Here's
playing?
one.
That's why. Um, no. Friday was not easy, and it reminded me. The past few days have honestly reminded me of the dregs of last season. But I think we'll get into that sooner or later. We're doing introductions, aren't we? I'm doing great today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Another very early day up in the Meadows household, up and over to the day job. Relentless, but it's all good fun. I'm still smiling like I always do, like the idiot that I am. So, we wouldn't have me any other way. And,
Absolutely not.
yeah, like I said, enjoying the fact that we're not playing today. I think that's probably,
Mm.
it's been nice just to sort of have a little step back
Mm.
away from everything and have a little think about
Yeah.
what's going on. And we
Mm.
could think to ourselves, things could be worse. Because, we're at the end of the day, we are still top of the table. We've still got it all to play for on Wednesday night, and we're not Tottenham. So,
We've got to play Newcastle very soon, Lee. I would
oh,
tread very carefully.
I was actually going to bring that up. But shall we start with the breaking news? Of course, of our neighbours across the road, Salini has been sacked from Tottenham. The interim head coach has been kicked out. Ryan
Mm.
Mason is in charge over there. This is after the defeat. You mentioned Newcastle just a second ago. It was what 5-0 after about 20 odd minutes yesterday. It
Yeah.
was one of the most crazier games I've ever seen in my whole life. What did you make of
Mm.
it?
Well, I mean, as I said, as much as it's hilarious and fun to see Tottenham get absolutely slaughtered inside 20 minutes, which makes I think every Arsenal fan cheer up after a very tough Friday.
Hmm.
I should point out we've got to play Newcastle soon, and we're not in the best of form.
We're not.
And with a certain someone who we'll mention in a minute in defence against Isak, Callum Wilson, you know. Let's. I'm just giving out. I'm not hoping we'll lose. Obviously, I'm not that much of an idiot fan, but I'm just, proceed with
Yeah.
caution. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So
Do you know what? Yeah, absolutely. I think
Mm.
that's a fair assumption. But well, obviously we are an Arsenal channel, but we're going to sort of obviously keeping eyes on what's going on. And
Mm.
you mentioned our issues ourselves. I think I want to talk about. There's a story that broke this morning from David Ornstein, um, saying that I think we kind of guessed this might be the case because we talked about William Saliba as we spoke on Friday, and how much of a miss he has been during this last sort of difficult period of 3 matches, saying that he's not expected to play, saying something about a structural damage on the potential structural damage and the backs and
Isn't
so
that what Shawn Michaels had, and he had to retire for 4 years?
yeah, that is right. I think the only difference is he didn't fall on a casket, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay. That I suppose is a
Exactly.
relief, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that would have been catastrophic, I suppose.
Mm.
But it is a worry, and we do have to think about the fact that, as my thumbnail sort of playfully suggested, that Haaland against our friend Rob Holding. There you can see the hashtag on his nameplate there.
Keep the faith, damn it.
Exactly. It wouldn't inspire you full of confidence especially being that we've conceded some sloppy goals of late, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. I will. Do you know what? With Rob Holding, I will give credit where it's due, because actually, whilst a lot of Arsenal fans expected an absolute calamity with Rob Holding in defence, I have been watching a lot of Arsenal games, of course, being a member of the old Gooner Gathering. We've been doing the watch-alongs together, and when I carefully examine the footage, Rob Holding has actually not been that bad. Against Liverpool, he had some decent moments. I think some other players around him may have been a bit of a factor, but I don't know. But look, I'm not saying he's going to have the greatest game ever against Man City, because it's Man City, and I think Haaland will have he is going, here we go.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see what happens.
Exactly. I'm just going to write something in the banner here. But I mean, I think there's a wider issue there as well, isn't it? I mean, Saliba's a massive figure in that back line, but then it's the partnership around him as well, and the effect it has all around that unit, I think.
The issue is Saliba and Holding are completely different defenders. They have different playing styles. Arteta's trying to get Holding to play exactly how Saliba played. It's the same how he was doing with Tierney, trying to be the inverted left back, which doesn't suit his style. And for Holding, it doesn't suit him playing the style of Saliba, because they're different defenders. I think what Arteta needs to realise is that they have different styles of play, so he's going to have to mix things up a bit. And he's not, which is what's frustrating me a bit.
So with that being said, then, with the very tricky trip to make on Wednesday night, how would you shake things up a little bit? Would you go with a change of system? Will you go with a change of personnel? How are you thinking?
I think we have to consider a change in the formation. I've seen a lot of people on Arsenal Twitter putting pictures of these ridiculous football manager style tactical setups that are just completely weird and won't work. But I don't know.
You got to love
I
it.
remember. I'm not saying this is a suggestion, but I remember when I was on Fran's stream and someone suggested Partey at right back, and everyone thought he was talking absolute nonsense. It is worth remembering when he was at Atletico Madrid, not all the time because he's a midfielder. There were occasional times where he did play as a right back. One of those games was against us in the Europa League, and they won that game.
Well remembered, sir. Well remembered.
So it's not, whilst it's not whilst it is an unusual idea, it's not a bat poo insane one.
No. Especially if you consider what Zinchenko does for us at the moment.
But do we really want to have two fullbacks doing that, leaving gaps in our defence for Grealish and Mahrez to just exploit?
Just go with the two at the back and just sort of follow through. I think
I'm going for a 10-1 formation.
Right.
Just if we miraculously go 1-0 up, get the 10-1 formation out, get all the buses in, every mode of transport, shut up all the shops, and that's what I do.
And get a couple of goalkeepers in.
Get Ramsdale and Turner in goal if that's possible.
Okay.
Oh, we've got a run in.
Who's there? It's Matt Roberts.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Not too bad. How are you both?
Yes. Yeah. All right, mate. Surviving, you know. It's a happy day in the Meadows household. We're not playing today, so we're not getting stressed. Didn't need the defibrillator today, so that was good.
How are you, Bertie? Are you still feeling a bit better over the result, or are you feeling a bit better today?
I'm okay because the past few days I've had to talk about Arsenal and how depressing everything is. So, I'm kind of doing it now, but I'm okay. Because I'm on the good old Gooner Gathering. I'm with the lads. I'm all right.
Absolutely. And I'm kind of hoping as a bit of a relaxed kind of platform where we're not going to shout over each other and we're going to have a nice time doing it.
Poor Fran.
Can I just clarify? I had a great time on Fran's stream. I think I thank her so much for having me on there.
She's awesome.
It was ridiculous. The issue is, as I put this comment up,
there he is.
I never said it was. I never said it was a good idea.
Good evening. Good to see you, mate. Welcome in.
Is Sebastian Squillaci available? But no, Did
you see the eyes go when I made that comment at the bottom of it? Fran says ridiculous suggestions, and I said Kiwa, play him, and we'll put Nketiah up front, and we'll recall Sambi Lokonga.
Oh wow! I mean that if that isn't a recipe for a title winners, I don't know what is.
It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Oh.
What's he done to hurt you?
It's all okay. Right. Thank you, Jez. Good to see you, by the way. But I was saying, I had a great time on Fran's stream. But I think what I was about to say is I saw both sides of the extreme kind of ultra positive and ultra negative side. When you got I mean by ultra positive, people going, everything is fine, it's all right, we got Super Rob Holding, we've drawn 3-3 against bottom of the league, it's going to be fantastic. And then you got people saying, oh, Arteta's taken us to the closest he's ever taken to a title race in 19 years, therefore he should be sacked. Like, it's those people. I just, I saw both sides of the extreme. I'm not going to say anything harsh, but I think emotions got high because of the result, and
and it's because we're all very passionate people and very passionate about our football club, and we are desperate to see them succeed.
And I don't want to be in any tribe being in this ultra positive or ultra negative. I'm just a guy that just I'm just leave me alone. I don't want to be in a cult.
Not that one anyway.
Oh no.
This time last year we weren't even gonna make top 4, and the fact of the matter is that we've shown a huge amount of development and growth. And you can point to a couple of signings in Jesus and Zinchenko that's helped build that team up a little bit and push them a bit further. But no one expected us to be title challengers. I don't think anyone was expecting that at the start of the season. They were all saying it was going to be United, Liverpool, Chelsea, the same old people. No, I think everyone was expecting a Tottenham to drop off, but not like that. I think as well is also you look at Newcastle and you thought, okay, the stuff that Newcastle have done. The fact that Newcastle have done so well as well during this time, they managed to improve huge amounts over the last couple of seasons. So the fact of the matter is we're in the top 3 with Man City, I know Manchester United are third at the moment, but Newcastle could potentially nick that third spot off Manchester United. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Before you joined us, Matt, I was asking Bertie about going up to Manchester City, and what were your ideas? Would you change anything? Would you change personnel? Would you change formation, etc.? I'd like to know your thoughts.
I do have a feeling that realistically, either you change one or two things. You change the midfield around a little bit, just to build that stability, or you almost have like a five at the back.
Jez, it's fine.
The problem is who fills in that centre back,
absolutely,
that third centre back role. You'll have Rob Holdings. Obviously, Saliba's not available, and then Gabriel. So then, unless you have Tomiyasu coming in as well, it depends on whether or not he's actually still available or not. I'm not 100%. If Tomiyasu is not available, then essentially that kills that, and then you have. It's just you don't want it to be square pegs in round holes. I'm saying that just looking at what the women have done a lot this season. Some of the players they're very versatile, but they're not able to play those positions as well as others do. So I'd probably go with a 4-2-3-1.
Right.
So almost like we're doing at the moment. But would you? It's a question of who partners who. Does Xhaka and Jorginho partner and take Partey out, or do you swap it around and just have Partey in, but Xhaka comes on from the bench? At this moment in time, I think Xhaka is more important than Partey for the moment. I know Partey's come under criticism, especially
From me as well here. Yeah, absolutely.
For some of the stuff, it wasn't. I think he gave away one of the goals in the end, and it's just things like that where if he doesn't need it at the moment, just take him off, let him have a bit of a breather, and then bring him on if need be. Jorginho knows how to split defensives. He knows how to defend. He knows how important these types of games are. Whereas Thomas Partey wouldn't have been here before with his club record at Atletico alone. See, I was thinking the 5-3-2, but who do you have at the back and who do you have at right back?
That's a great question, and I'm gonna kind of put a suggestion out there. So I was kind of thinking that we got Kieran Tierney, who I would probably prefer in a situation like this, in the normal circumstances, playing at left back. But he's also very comfortable, and he does this for Scotland as well, playing at centre half. I wonder how it might look, given the extra, like Jez has suggested actually in the 5-3-2. If you're putting him alongside Holden and Gabriel, then you've got Zinchenko one side, you've got Ben White, who was obviously that's another very defensive sort of lineup, but with Ben staying where he is pretty much, not bombing forward so much, Zinchenko doing what he does, and that free role as left side, which is I have concerns on that one, but it's kind of how I think we might go. If Xhaka's available, there's another player who knows how to cover distances, and you wonder if where else we could go. What about a 5-4-1? So yeah, that's a potential as well. But then you're thinking about the attacking options as well, because it's all well and good loading up one area, but then if we can't get, because if we could kind of park the buses, you're kind of suggesting with the quality that they do have, they are eventually going to break through, I would imagine. So we pass it along to somebody else, Posh. What do you think to that?
Yeah, I think we do need to change a bit of formation. I think we need to go a bit defensive. I think what Jez was suggesting with having Tierney at left back was he was concerned about, because Zinchenko drifts into midfield, it's going to leave an almighty gap for someone like Jack Grealish to have plenty of fun.
Just go through there, mate.
There we go. Yeah. There you go, Erling.
Yeah.
8-0. So yeah. Do whatever it takes to not lose this game. Yeah, good idea.
I mean, it's a case of do whatever you can within the rules, right? To do a nice wrestling quote, by any means necessary. What do you think, Matt?
You, Pep, more than ever. Just the one more.
It's difficult. It generally is. Like, do you want? It depends on how, as well. I mean, you look at the last couple of times that Arsenal have played, and I know both games have been at the Emirates for the last 2 weeks. We've conceded within the first minute of the game.
Yes.
So defensively structure, if you have a 5-4-1, it would make sense, or a 5-3-2, just so then you're not carrying on that, having that pressure of, we need to make sure we're not conceding. I know we have a bit of an issue at the moment of conceding, but it's difficult. It's definitely difficult, and I wouldn't want to be Mikel Arteta. Xhaka on the left wing.
I can understand it, and I get where he's coming from. What hasn't been mentioned there is which goalkeeper we're going to use, because I thought, just for argument's sake, and you just said it yourself. We've had the Bournemouth game, we've had
Yeah.
the calamitous moment on Friday just gone.
How about and this is a hot take here. How about you? I don't know. Don't do short passes to defenders when you're in goal, especially when you got attackers for Man City going to charge at you.
Yeah.
Just an idea, Aaron.
Just
You
to put it
know.
out there, in the Europa League, Sevilla were playing United, and
Yeah,
David
look at
Gea
that.
and give it to Harry Maguire.
Mm.
In another
Not bad
game,
at all.
he actually kicks it out for a kick for a throw into, I can't remember who the team was. It might have been Bournemouth that day. But it's sensible things like that. You need to be thinking, and it's things like that when the ball gets played back to you. You need to be making those short and simple passes. It's been seen over the weekend as well. It's not just a problem. It's just you need to be mentally turned on at all times during the match, and it doesn't happen often. But it's just when you switch off like that, it can cost you goals.
And when you have a shaky moment like you did, that can affect your whole mindset of the game. You know, I have got absolutely no idea what happened at the start of the match, where he's just kicked it out. I don't know. Did he just lose concentration? Or did he have a sudden moment of colour blindness? I have no idea. But it was just so frustrating. And Ramsdale's got to step up. We're not back to his relegation levels. And again, yes, absolutely right on that one. You know,
well, I don't think we're going to get relegated this season.
No.
I know that's a bit of a bit of a bold claim, but
I'll have to get my calculator out.
We could finish as low as 4th, though. That is a warning. I will discuss that later. But
yeah, absolutely. Because if we don't sort our form out, win, lose, or draw on Wednesday, there are there is other games to play after that, and tricky games at that as well. I'm right in saying Chelsea, aren't I, over the weekend?
Yeah. And yes, people go on about saying how Chelsea have been a shambles, but hey, we haven't won in a few games. I'm just preparing the sirens. Mudryk in the last kick of the game, could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the amount of times you've mentioned his name and saying, "Oh, no, and Chelsea are rubbish." But he did 3 times, Bertie. He was saying we will. Wasn't saying we will. I don't know. I'm confused. But never mind. It's fine. But so where else? What else do we want to talk about? Is there any? I tell you one thing I took out of the Sheffield United game that with Man City played. If we keep Kevin De Bruyne as quiet as Sheffield United did, I think we'll be fine.
Man City won 3-0.
And Kevin De Bruyne didn't play.
Was quiet.
Kevin De Bruyne didn't play. That was a joke. Before anyone,
I didn't watch the game. Actually, I honestly, I didn't. I was busy getting ready for Fran's stream. So,
but Matt's stunned.
No, to be honest, where I don't know what it is, but this season the FA Cup has not interested me at all.
Probably something to do with the fact we got knocked out very early on.
No, usually it doesn't matter if we get knocked out. I'm hooked on it. It's like one thing that always you go for. Oh, what sort of one? Like come the start of the season, like within the first weeks, October, November, that sort of time. BBC starts getting involved. ITV will start getting involved. It's just one. It usually gets that building of yes, the FA Cup's finally here. It's that excitement of more football, and you get to see these stories unfold. And this season, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just this season. It's just sort of been a meh, and now we've got a very meh final. If I'm honest.
Oh, a Manchester derby is a meh final. I will say this. From what I've seen of the United Brighton game yesterday, it was a bit of a snooze fest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brighton had their chances. They just couldn't put them in the back of the net. And it would have been, it would have been kind of like iconic if Danny Welbeck once again in an FA Cup final scores against Manchester United.
Would have been nice.
But oddly enough, Solly March actually did have the same penalty in a Cup against who did they play? Was it Cheltenham? So no, not Cheltenham.
Charlton.
Charlton, thank you. And he stuck it exactly the same place as he did in that cup final, and it went over the bar. Same place. So he can't catch a break.
It's a shame because Solly March actually has had a fantastic season for them, especially in terms of goals scored as well. But
Over his month, though.
Sorry?
Over his month, though.
Yeah. But we are kind of going off topic of where we need to go. So what do I want to say? How Matt, how do you think we can stop Haaland? That's probably the best question I can ask you. In where would you go in terms of tactics and keeping him quiet?
I'm pretty sure when we played the home fixture, we pretty much did a job on him. He couldn't get anything.
Apart from that time when he scored in the last few minutes.
Was it the last few minutes? I think we kept
that was it though. But then again, we had Saliba in defence at the time.
Yeah.
I think we just kind of need a little bit of the dark arts. I think that's kind of why Jorginho might be in that squad come Wednesday night, because although I don't like these sorts of players a lot of the time, but when you've got someone that's willing to kick players to death or the tactical, I hate the tactical fouling as well, because you get proper going grey now, and getting this out of the game, this sort of thing. But no, you just sometimes you need those players, and if it means tactically fouling these players, because City do it all the time. Let's be real, and then but they're happy to give back. I mean, Bernardo Silva is a perfect example. He'll dive from 3 meters away just to win a free kick.
Fair enough. I don't know if you've seen any. I haven't seen any team news personally just yet. I don't know if they've even done the presser yet, so we might be jumping the gun a little bit now. I felt we really missed Xhaka over on Friday. I know it sounded a little bit of a weird thing to say in commentary because I watched it back. I didn't quite express what I wanted to say. What I meant to say is like with Xhaka and his influence into our midfield and how we play, especially how he's been playing that further up a little bit. I felt his link up in our play was really missing, and I thought we were a little bit disjointed.
Can I just say I've got I know you asked previously how can we stop Haaland? I've got an answer for that. Basically, we ring the guy who made the lasagna for the Tottenham and West Ham game all those years ago and say, hello, do you mind if you can cook something up again, please? You know, that's an idea.
Okay. Good evening to Sam Wilson, who's says, evening all, how we all feeling about Wednesday? Hopefully, I'm not very hopeful, he says.
Don't blame you.
I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah. Rob Holding at the back, Kivior at the back as well. Solid. Party at right back.
But this is where I quite happily take that role of the positive Pete, because that's me, and I'll let you two take it's going to be horrible, but
I don't think it's
like the babyface and heel wrestling commentators.
Yeah, exactly.
If you look at this, these are the usual games that Sky like to build up. Unfortunately, a lot of these games are on BT instead, so BT is going to do.
Thanks, BT Sport.
I'm not blaming anyone. It's just the way it goes. But I didn't realise it was on BT until I looked it up earlier. But it's just the way these build is usually you have the great big moments in the season on Sky, and BT have it this season. So it's a bit of an oddity to have a Wednesday game on BT, but it is what it is. And
I'm having to change my arrangements to watch it. I'll tell you that much. And unfortunately, I've got a feeling the pub's going to be rather loud. And unlike the time we did it against Lisbon, which was quite unique in itself.
I love that, to be honest.
It was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, it was nothing wrong. Thank you very much, Jez. That's appreciated. And, there's nothing wrong, likewise, with that, taking things on the other way. And I think you'll probably say as being real, I think is probably how you'd want to put it.
He says he's a realist. That's what he said on Fran's stream, which is also fine as well.
Facts. There you go. I've got your catchphrase in. Nothing but love to our Jez, actually. It's cool. But yeah, so I've kind of got lost when we're talking BT. You've got the game. What I'm hoping to do, I believe the poshest man in sports entertainment is going to probably go.
Yeah.
Joey Styles it and
probably, yeah. I've got BT Sport. It'll be on the big boy TV though in my living room. So I'm gonna have to say, Mum, Dad, I'm afraid you can't watch Only Connect in the living room. I'm afraid. So
yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, they won't mind, and I don't mind. Yeah, I'll be doing that. I think I'm going to need something a lot stronger than water to get me through that, to be honest. But yeah,
what you got in mind? Lemonade,
apple juice. But yeah,
funny
I
enough,
think
that's exactly what I'm on right now. I'm not even joking. I've stolen Amy supplies.
No. It's blackcurrant. Honestly, I know it says Strongbow, but that's like a unique type of blackcurrant. No,
yeah.
I think
it's got fruit in it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fruity. I think
fruity, yeah. Delicious fruity.
I'm looking forward to doing the watch along. I'm not so much looking forward to the result, unless of course a miracle happens. But I believe in miracles, as the song goes. So
you sexy thing.
Hey. Save that for off camera. Come on now.
It's not what you said last week.
What?
No,
I'm joking.
I was just slating the team last week.
If you hadn't noticed, this is the kind of thing that me and Posh do all the time. It's hilarious. We got
flirt with each other.
Yeah, all the time.
It's
even Anna was suggesting we should go and get married. No,
Ross Twaddell and Sam Driver in Vegas, and then go
exactly. Oh, hello, Stacey. Good evening. It's nice to see you in the chat. Welcome.
I generally think this season's still got some twists and turns in it, and obviously no one's been relegated yet. No one's been crowned champions yet. No, the only thing that's been guaranteed is St Tottering's Day was delivered. Thank you, Stacey, for bringing up the point. As yes, St Tottering's was actually confirmed on Friday night, but it was made even better on the Sunday.
Yeah. And thank you very much. This channel deserves more subs and views. Do you know what? As the banner says just there, we are. Last time I checked, and it was early on the lunchtime, we were on 149 subs. I'm so chuffed and pleased about that. I will suggest that for clarity with you two, I joined a WhatsApp group over the weekend with lots of further other content creators. I don't know, Anfield Uncle Rog. Or Roger, his name is, who does stuff in Liverpool. There's a whole group of loads of people with our friends in it. John Sinclair, Newcastle, is in there. There's a few other people as well. And there's so many people who followed us, and I've followed them back as well. So, yeah, it's really been helpful. And we are growing. We are growing in a nice, authentic kind of way, and it's been nice. And I think the important thing is we have fun. And we just mess about on it most of the time, which is what it's all about, isn't it?
And coming from Jez as well, who is a fantastic Arsenal creator and has got so many followers as well. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
it's 250 by Wednesday. Come on.
Yeah, facts, Jez.
Absolutely. If we can do that, that would be absolutely amazing. I'll bring it to the question in the chat here. And it's Sam saying, what is needed in the summer transfer window? Well, I think Arteta needs some wine. Edu could do with a new barbecue. And
if I speak, I'm in big trouble. Anyway.
Go on, lads.
No. Something involving his daughter or whatever. I don't know. But what Arteta needs in the summer transfer window, I think he needs a player like Declan Rice. That would be a fantastic addition. I think maybe another striker, because I don't think, and I know you're going to be heartbroken when I say this, Lee, but Nketiah can't cut the mustard. Arsenal. So
Cheers, Jez.
Thank you so
Much
much.
appreciated, my friend.
But yeah, I think Declan Rice is our main target. The issue is like we keep signing players that Chelsea look to offload. Like we're linked with Mason Mount, for God's sake. You know,
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think
Jorginho, Willian, even Petr Cech was all right actually. I didn't mind that, but I don't want us to become, Chelsea retirement home FC. So
this is the difference, though, is that Jorginho's actually adding to the squad, though. He's adding that experience, whereas you look at Luis did as well, but unfortunately, Luis is Luis. He does have a fault in him. I mean, sometimes he was getting sent off for things that he realistically he shouldn't have been sent off for. But that's another discussion for another. Yeah, there's been some terrible signings over the years again from Chelsea, where Chelsea have brought from Arsenal, and they've done quite well with them.
Hello, Cole. How you doing?
But Mason Mount, for me, where does he fit into the system? If you look at it, Southgate's got him playing on the wings. For me, I've asked a Chelsea fan before, where's he best playing?
He's more of a midfielder than a winger.
He's central midfielder. He's an Odegaard. So why would we have another? Why would you want another Odegaard? Someone to play as a central attacking midfielder, because Odegaard, bar many injuries, is not going to be playing very much. Realistically, you can give that job to a Charlie Patino next season. Defensive midfielder.
I've not heard in a little while.
He was playing he's on loan at Blackpool at the moment, doing really well actually. Defensive midfielder, I think Declan Rice is the one that I think everyone wants. I think everyone's expecting it to happen. It's just a case of how it happens. I think this season as well, Declan Rice realises if he can get West Ham their first European title since the 60s, isn't it?
Probably,
yeah. So if that'd be huge for them, and then they've got European football to look forward to next season anyway. So that's huge for them itself. But attacker wise, okay, Gabriel Jesus is done really good. Eddie Nketiah is really good. We don't know what's happening with Balogun. There's a chance that Balogun could be either sold or let go or loaned out.
Mason Mount overrated, says Sam.
It's
all right for England, but for Chelsea, he's
a bit meh for me.
I've said this, but when I saw the Liverpool links, because there's a lot of Liverpool fans around here, I've said he suits Liverpool more than he would suit any other club in that top four. And that's not
I could see that. I could see that if they want to sell him. That's the issue, isn't it?
Well, Chelsea have got a lot of players to get rid of essentially next season. They're going to have to balance the books somehow. So essentially, they'll be looking to sell before they can buy. But if there was anyone that I would potentially look at Chelsea squad, if there was one player you could probably look at and go, he'd do quite a good job. I'll probably say Conor Gallagher, but then I
was thinking Kante.
I think Kante's going at the end of the season, isn't he? I think it's a bit too late for that. On that,
I do. I think isn't he 30s now? Kante,
31, 32.
Conor Gallagher's a good shout, perhaps.
The only reason I say that is you can loan him out to like a Crystal Palace, and Palace fans know they like him anyway, and he'll be really
very good for Palace.
Loved, and he was brilliant for him the last season, but this season it's a step too far for him, and he'll be able to develop with a little bit of a loan spell with someone like a Palace. Defensively, I think maybe Kiwior is probably going to step up next season a little bit more. That's why we brought him in instead of playing him a little bit more this season.
I think he'll be loaned next season.
I agree with you, Posh.
I'd
I
loan
think
him out next season.
if indeed we can strengthen like we're going to need to.
Mm.
I mean, yeah,
We're
there must have
competing in
been
the
something
Champions
in it.
League. I think a lot of positions need strengthening.
Yeah, otherwise we are going to get absolutely turned over.
Like, can you imagine if like Kivior and like and Rob Holding and that start against Real Madrid?
Be fantastic. It'd be full of goals. It'd be great.
It'd be content galore. We'd be raking in the money, but
zero budget channel. Yeah. But,
the Champions
for a
League
team point of
final
view, I
next
hate it.
year is going to be held at Wembley, just to let people know.
oh, that'd be handy. It'd be just down the road then.
I was
Did we
double
book our
checking
tickets
the
already?
group stage. This must be the last season that it changes from the 32.
What do you?
Yeah, I think you're right.
What's at Wembley?
So the Champions League finals at Wembley next season,
Okay.
and on top of that, this will be that will be the last season that they go into the 32 group stage before it becomes that huge big thing.
Oh yeah, the Super League in all but name.
Bayern,
Yeah, that
and
thing.
I kind of understand it from a logic, like from the merch and things like that, but it doesn't sound great. It's not great
No.
selling.
I'm not a fan.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. That's finally.
Yeah, Stacey's going to keep with us. She's going to be back and forth. It's nice to see you. We're back in the chat with us. Nice to see you watching us. So, Stacey saying,
No, that was last week.
We're
I
in
did
black.
that last week, and I mentioned that.
You did. Where else shall we go? Oh, we were talking about the summer window. How about players that you might consider leaving the club? I've got a couple in my mind, but I'll leave it to you two first.
Matt, do you want to go first?
So this is a bit of an odd one, but I'm looking at some of the academy players moreover. So people like Carl Hein hasn't really played very much. So I'd expect a lot of players to be moving on. I will talk about that in a minute. I'll just carry on with Carl Hein, I think, is going to be one of them. I think it's Miguel Aziz is another player that's gone out of contract. Don't know what's going to happen with him. It's a bit of a shame. I was quite fond of Miguel Aziz. I think this is the problem, is that essentially we're not going to lose any big players. I mean, people are talking about Kieran Tierney. To be honest, I'd rather keep Kieran Tierney. Whether or not obviously someone else at centre back, if that's the case, then obviously you're loaning out Kiwior. As you mentioned, Jorginho's contract is only 18 months, isn't it? So essentially he could be leaving in January.
Essentially, I suppose so.
Which could be quite an interesting one. But for me, again, Balogun as well. Don't know what's happening with Balogun. Does he go?
I would bring him. Do you know what? I would consider bringing him back, because I think it's very similar to what happened with Saliba. Last season, he flourished in the French league. He put in brilliant performances. And look at how he's done for us, albeit with his injury. He's been one of our best players. Balogun has, I don't know if he's one of the top scorers or not, but from what I've seen, he has played brilliantly for Reims, managed by the mighty Will Still. And I think he'll be similar to Saliba in that he flourished in the French league, comes back to the Premier League, and hopefully does well. I would consider Balogun coming back.
That's an interesting one.
His contract is the issue, though. That's the problem at the moment, because essentially he's only got 1 year left. If you go and loan it, you need to sort of. Apparently, this is the thing as well. Is a lot of Arteta's trying to convince him to stay, sign for another contract, so that they can carry on his development. Whether it's he goes back out to France or he stays within the squad. If he stays within the squad, he needs to be nailed down in a spot. It can't be he's back up and he's playing under 23s every week. He needs to be playing. So maybe it would be he signs a contract and he gets loaned out, and then we say we look at loaning in someone, or maybe looking at bringing in a young, let's say another Cesc Fabregas from Barcelona or something like that, like a 16-year-old that's not going to get the chances at Barcelona, but will thrive in Arsenal's current setup.
I'm no with Balogun. I've never been quite sure about him it's only because of them few times he put on the Arsenal shirt back in the dark days, and he wasn't ready. And then he had an unsuccessful.
I said he needed a loan spell.
He did, and then he had a bad time up at Middlesbrough, but I can't deny the fact that he's hitting the goal trail up in France. Bertie might be onto something, and
that's the first time anyone's ever said that.
If the kid has got that raw finishing ability that one Eduardo Nketiah maybe could argue has struggled a little bit with. I know he's had his few flashes and stuff like that, and I've made my point quite clear on it. But being that I suppose the levels are increased, you do kind of wonder. Like I said, he signed the contract, and he's on more money for it as well, and fair play to him. But would that contract mean he spent an extra year at Arsenal and then potentially sell him on in the summer? That's kind of maybe where I'm sitting at the moment. Silence.
It depends where you're going with it, because if we're going to have a huge influx of these great academy players that will potentially never get a first team appearance, or they'll get a couple of appearances in the League Cup and that will be it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can start. I'm not really showing my age, but the sort of era of the 70s and 80s and the early 90s was bringing in these youth players and then building this around the Liam Brady's, the Tony Adams, and then just chipping in with a few players here and there. And that, I think that's
the Fran's catchphrase, isn't it?
What, here and there?
No, chipping in.
It's difficult to say for certain, but hopefully Charlie Patino will be one of them. Hopefully there'll be many more of them. Kido Taylor Hart, I think, is another one that's we've got our own Salah as well. Ironically enough, he does also play on the wings. So it's not like we can't use these talents. These talents are there, and we can use them if need be. But if they're not getting the game time, at least give them the contract and say, look, we can sell them. And we're learning from our mistakes from the past as well, like Gnabry and other players as well.
That hurts, that Gnabry one, doesn't it? But I saw a clip when Wenger was bringing him in. Literally, I think the other day.
I liked him when he was at Arsenal. I thought he was good.
He did really well.
He had a bright future.
Yeah.
He's right at the moment, isn't it?
He wasn't the right player for him at West Brom.
Yeah. Well, that one, didn't it? but there you go. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of thinking in terms of a preview show and stuff. I think we've probably covered all our bases as where we want to go for now. What I will say, hang on, let me just I'll bring up another comment. Here we go. I can't say I agree with that, Matt. We brought in younger players with seasoned players, mate. Yeah, we have done. I suppose so. It's I suppose it's getting the balance right, and then
that's the point, isn't it? You go too much like Chelsea, where they've got too many young players, and then they've
got about 100 senior players, haven't they, as well?
Yeah. Or you could go the Man United route, where half your experienced team is injured at the moment, or just not playing for you, as And it's all about that balance. Mikel's done really well to get that balance. It's just keeping that balance at the moment, and that's the important and key thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I think what we're going to do, Matt, I think what I'll go to you first, because the question was asked by Jez, do you have a channel? I think this is your time to shine, my friend, and absolutely plug it as much as you want to, my friend.
So, unfortunately, I don't have a channel, but I do cover a lot of the women's football with Vic Akers Wonderland, with the lovely Lottie. Oh, you're talking more about the 70s and 80s and 90s. Okay, fair enough. This is sort of showing my age, sort of a little bit, because my knowledge.
I know where you're coming from, mate.
But it's
in the old days.
Me and Lee are the same age.
That's almost like
It's
my
just
dad.
the stress of supporting Arsenal that makes certain people look a bit more older than others.
Just got a little bit less hair these days. That's what you're saying. Go on, carry on, Matt. You carry on.
Yeah,
Vic Akers Wonderland.
The Vic Akers Wonderland, the fantastic Lottie and Adam are always with me, and we're just building on women's football at the moment. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I've just I'm really enjoying it, especially just to give you a quick heads up. There was a huge game at the weekend, Champions League semi-final against Wolfsburg. They've won the competition twice and got over to Germany, and we got a 2-2 draw from going from 2-0 down. So it was a fantastic game. I really enjoyed that, and there's one word that always sticks with me at the moment, and that's belief. And this team has this belief, whether it be men and women, that they can go out onto that pitch 90 minutes, they're going to give it their all, and no matter what happens, they're going to have a hell of a show come whether or not there's a parade. So anyway, yes. So anyway, Vic Akers Wonderland is the YouTube channel. My Twitter is @MattLR28 if you are interested.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, Posh Bertie, we were saying before we come on air that we might have a little bit of a break from the football talk tomorrow, and we might pop on the Twitch channel, which is www.twitch.tv/Gooner Gathering, and
do
we might
have
do
a banner for that, or here we go.
There you go. I know it's there. We're prepared. Look at that. So, if you are new to us, if you're watching us now, once we're finished, we're going to be wrapping up in just a second. But check out our Twitch channel. Give that a follow as well, because let's face it, it's a little easier getting to 50 than it is to 1,000 if you get me on subscribers. But it'll be really handy, and it'll be really good to see us keep on building like we're doing. Any idea what we might want to watch tomorrow, or we're just going to play it on the fly?
We will discuss that off camera, I think.
Okie dokie, she'll do that. And just to bring Matt back into the conversation as well, what I think I'd like to do, and I don't know when we're doing it, but we'll definitely break down that Champions League game which you referred to, but we'll talk about that off air as well. So you can find Posh at Posh Bertie.
On Twitter, @Posh Bertie, and Instagram @Bertie Wanless.
Thank you very much. You can find me at Goonerly Mead. You can find us all at Gooner Gathering. Thank you very much for watching us today. We will be back on the YouTube channel. I think Posh says 7:45 for Wednesday.
That's when I'll be going live, for the watch along.
Fantastic. So hopefully you can
15
all join.
minutes prior to kick off.
Absolutely. Hopefully you can all join Posh for that. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do the live commentary from the pub because I think it'll be loud. Thank you, everyone that's been in the chat as well. Thank you, Jez Collins. Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Sam Wilson, for your comments. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully, and anyone who's watching us on demand as well, let's not forget them. All appreciated. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And we shall see you next time. So thanks for watching and have a good evening.